Week 11 in the CFL set to wrap up on the West Coast as the 4-5 BC Lions welcome the 5-4 Alouettes to Vancouver for their second and final meeting of the year. BC has struggled at home as of late. They've dropped 3 in a row here at BC Place. Montreal has lost 2 in a row and be making a change at quarterback once again. Yeah, a change made out of necessity. Their top 2 quarterbacks on their depth chart out of the lineup. So Caleb Evans makes his first start of 2025. But I will note Caleb Evans, over the previous 2 seasons, undefeated as the Montreal Alouettes starter. He is 3-0 in that time. And a young man from Montreal here with the BC Lions, looking like he's starting to break out. The CFL's leading receiver a year ago, Justin McInnes, coming off a big game last week in the overtime win in the Hammer. That was a big game for Buck Pierce, a thriller against the Ticats. See if they can use that momentum to get things on track here at home. Jason Moss so far this season, actually pretty good record as the visiting head coach. He sits at 3-1. BC won the coin toss. They want the ball. Seven McGee back to return it, along with Robert Carter Jr. Second of 2 meetings. Sean White walked it off earlier in the year for a BC Lions win, and Maltos Diaz gets us underway in Vancouver. McGee will take it just inside the 10, back to the 20, and it'll be wrapped up just short of the 25. Hamlin with the special teams tackle, and let's bring out Nathan Rourke for the first time this evening. And there you see the numbers for Nathan Rourke on the season, standing out with that 12 touchdowns versus just 5 interceptions on the year. Been particularly good with the long ball this season. We'll talk a little bit more about that certainly as the game goes on. Coming off a 400-yard game, has 5 different receivers, 6 different receivers actually, that have been targeted more than 40 times this season when you include his running back James Butler. Rourke throwing here, Hatcher far side, and he hauls it in. Hatcher just one of the weapons in this BC offense. As we take a look at this group, Andrew Pearson from Kingston, Ontario, the lone Canadian starting on that offensive line. He's at the center spot. Aiden Eberhard, we talked about the long ball, averaging over 20 yards a catch so far this season. 3 catches last week for 120 yards. That'll bring the average up for sure. Interesting to see Rourke go to Hatcher right away in this game. Hatcher last week targeted 10 times, but only caught 3 of them. He's got one here. Mazzoli in, short yardage, flags will fly. Mazzoli, not much of a push ahead, didn't need much.
Too many players. Montreal, 10-yard penalty, first down.
Early penalty against Jason Moss's club. Brings the intensity right from the start of the game, doesn't it? Moss, eh?
I'll tell you, the thing that stands out to me is because it was like the row of flags way back, and it always reminds me of the Too Many Men game, right?
I didn't want to say that.
The Grey Cup.
Yeah, yeah.
And I am sorry to bring it up, but that's just when I see the flags back there, that's what I think.
That'll move it up to the BC 43. Rourke gets this one away, was pressured. Sean Lemon was there. Let's take a look at the Montreal defense.
And unquestionably, Isaac Adeyemi-Berglund has emerged as a leader in this group. Terrific pass rusher, high motor guy in his 2nd year with the Alouettes. Najee Murray has moved up from the strong side halfback position. He's playing the nickel linebacker spot with Marc-Antoine Dequoy out of the lineup. 2nd-year man Arthur Hamlin from Ottawa, Ontario, makes the start at safety.
Adeyemi-Berglund, 3 sacks last week, leads the league with 7. BC, 2nd down. Rourke feels the pressure, steps around it, gets it away, coming back to the ball and hauling it in. Justin McInnes trying to build off his big game last week.
And you're going to see the running back James Butler come across the formation. He forces Tyrese Beverette to belly just enough to allow Nathan Rourke to step up. Gets rid of that football before Beverett can get back to him. Nice effort by McInnes working back to scoop that one.
McInnes, 159 yards on 8 catches against Hamilton. Rourke gets it away quickly. Eberhardt stays on his feet. He's got a first down. And Nathan Rourke spreading the ball out here in the early going.
Eberhardt started off tight in the formation here. Works across behind the line of scrimmage. So Najee Murray having to chase him through that traffic right at the line of scrimmage as Eberhardt releases to the far side.
Corey Woodruff down on the field. Eberhardt's almost at 500 yards in an offense that has Hatcher and McInnes. For Eberhardt to be putting up the numbers he already is just shows, I guess, the confidence that Nathan Rourke's got in his young receiver.
Yeah, absolutely making the most of a limited number of opportunities for sure.
As they take a look at Corey Woodruff, we will step away here in Vancouver. Well, the most important thing for BC last week was to come away with a victory. Nathan Rourke did just that. Huge game.
Yeah, absolutely. His first time over 400 yards this season. Couple of touchdown strikes thrown by Rourke as well in that ball game. Nice job mixing it up, getting everybody involved. Big game, as we mentioned earlier, for Justin McInnes in that one, and of course for James Butler too, who's been terrific.
Rourke got his zip on that one, and he goes into the hands of Keon Hatcher. Another 400-yard game for Nathan Rourke. Tack on a few of those in the future, isn't he?
Yeah, well, you look back at the that somewhat magical 2022 season for Nathan Rourke and think, you know, is this a sign of him rediscovering that form? I think there's certainly been enough frequency, I would say, that we can't just call it flashes.
Yeah, I don't think it's a fluke. It's not a one-off, that's for sure. Mazzoli back into the game on a 2nd and 1. And he finds the first down yardage needed. And BC's offense continues to march on their first possession of the ball game.
Out of the gate quickly. You see most of the passes so far, Rourke looking for the quick delivery. A few things built off of the success that James Butler has had in the run game. What a story Butler's been for the BC Lions here in Buck Pierce's offense.
Butler almost 1,000 total yards of offense on the year. Likely hit that number tonight. Just over 60 yards away from it. First and 10 for the Montreal 28. Rourke fakes the handoff. Near side, wide open. Drops it into the hands of Riley Pickett. It's his second catch of the season.
Yeah, Riley Pickett, who's made the conversion from defensive line, taking over that fullback spot with the offseason retirement of Dave Mackey. Doing a nice job really settling into that role. He's starting to get some more touches. Ran the ball in on a 2-point convert last week.
His 4th year out of the University of Saskatchewan. Finding his way into the offense a little bit here. Now they'll give it to Butler. And Butler has enough for a BC Lions first down.
You see the motion with both Rourke and Butler attacking the outside here. You can see as the defense crashed down to the inside a little bit on that run play. Butler just finds that soft spot around the edge.
It's the 10th play of the game's opening drive for the Lions. Rourke waits down the field, just a tad too high. Tried to find the 6'4" Justin McInnes, but McInnes couldn't haul it in.
And that was Rourke recognizing that, well, there was coverage on McInnes, that just that that height and reach advantage. He's trying to get that ball sort of high and outside where he knows only Justin McInnes is going to be able to go get it. Just a little too high and outside.
Working against Lorenzo Burns. Rourke 5 for 7 on this drive. 2nd and 10 is what they'll face here from the Montreal 16. Alouettes will send 6. Rourke looks to the end zone. Too high again. That time looking for the much smaller Berryhill. First time he's been targeted on the drive. And he could not complete the catch.
Yeah, defender flashes in front of Berryhill here as the ball is en route. Sails just beyond his reach. Looked almost as if he may have reacted just a little bit late in trying to go up and get that one.
Sean White had his consecutive field goal streak snapped last week at 30, I believe. Starting a new one in that game. And this 23-yard attempt is up. 5.5-minute drive for the BC Lions. And they come away with a 3-0 lead. Caleb Evans set to make the start for the Montreal Alouettes when we return to Vancouver. Caleb Evans will make the start today for Montreal, but he did get some game action in last week.
Yeah, you see the numbers are pretty impressive. 14 of 18 in that one, through his first touchdown pass of the season. Evans is a guy who had been the #2 quarterback in Montreal a couple of years ago. The rise of Davis Alexander last year limited his opportunities. Just one start in 2024.
Starts on his 40. He'll hand it off. A few hard yards for Tice in the game at running back. Let's take a look at this Montreal offense.
With this group, the former Ottawa Redblacks, Hogan Saint-Don makes the start at center. And as mentioned, Travis Tice in at running back. Sean Thomas Erlington injured in last week's game.
Erlington on the one-game injured list. 2nd and 6 here for Evans. Looks to his left, locked in over there, in trouble, trying to get away, won't the second time, taken down. Tavai gets there, his 2nd sack of the season.
And Caleb Evans never really had a chance to get set on this one. Jonah Tavai, the 2nd man to get in there. You'll see Tomasi Lolile goes over the top. Evans able to duck that one, but before he could basically get himself reoriented, Jonah Tavai was all over him.
Joseph Zima called into duty for the first time this evening. Stands on his own 20. 7 McGee awaits the punt. Zima on the year averaging 48.3 per kick. Gets this one away cleanly. He'll hang up there. McGee slides under it at the 27, a 49-yard kick. And the return goes nowhere. Richards with the special teams tackle. Justin McInnes coming in off his best game of the season. We'll be back out there with the Lions offense when we return. Well, it was a monster season last year for Justin McInnes. A bit of a slower start this year, but that changed last week against Hamilton. 8 catches, 159 yards. Just a huge game to jumpstart his season. For more, let's send it down to Farhan Lalji.
Yeah, Dusty, just the second 100-yard game of the season for McInnes. The last one came in that victory in Montreal, and in between, it's been really quiet. Just 3 games, 4 receptions total for just 63 yards. But he had a sense things were going to change last week because the coaches put him in a number of different positions in the offense, motioned him to places he doesn't normally play, and he said, said, as much as it took us time to learn the offense, it also took the coaches time to learn what we could do and put us in those right spots. He said last week, Kevin Burgoyne, the receiver coach, came up to him and said, I didn't know your feet were that good and you could run double moves that well. So he thinks all of that is going to continue. And this is not a diva receiver. He is good with blocking, drawing double teams, doing whatever it takes. He said he and Keon Hatcher talked about this, and they've had too many big games over the years in losses. They don't want that to continue.
Here's a look at where he settles in. Ran away with this last year. But, I mean, all 5 of those guys have a really nice season so far.
Well, it's a category when you talk about Canadian receivers in which the competition just gets tougher and tougher every year. Nice to see the development of this group.
Butler had to work hard to get that first down carry back to the line of scrimmage, so it's a 2nd and 10 for Rourke. Gets it away. Hatcher's got it. Nice little move. He's got the first down and more. Keon Hatcher sidestepping a tackle to find a first down.
Yeah, you had a little bit of a gamble. I believe it was the halfback, Robert Kennedy, who jumped on that one. Gets just past him, Hatcher. Making a couple other defenders miss to move the sticks for the Lions.
15 yards to Hatcher. And a first down at the BC 47. 3 options out to the left for Rourke. Looks that way. Pressure in his face. Trying to escape. Flag flies. Rourke will throw. He's hit as he does, and it's intercepted down inside the 40. Beverette takes it away, and Montreal will get the ball. Second interception of the year for
number
Beverette.
54. That penalty be declined. First down, Montreal.
Rourke on the run, picked off by Beverette, and the Alouettes defense making an impact early.
Well, Tyrese Beverette, the man of the moment, top defensive player in the East a year ago. He's going to get his steps in on this play. You see him in the middle of your picture. This is where he starts off. We'll try and track him here. See just how much ground he ends up covering on this play. Out towards the sideline, then following the receiver. Katoy back to the other side of the field as Rourke gets on the scramble. Big play there from Beverette.
Just the 9th interception of the season for Montreal's defense. Evans now, he's going to be on the run. Out to his right. Hit as he throws, and it falls incomplete. Defended well by Alway.
Take a look at this Lions defense. We mentioned Jonah Tavai already with a sack in this ball game, making his return to this BC lineup, adding some depth to the interior. That D-line. Patrice Rene, one of the top special teamers in the Canadian Football League, makes his 2nd consecutive start at the nickel linebacker spot, and a shuffle in that secondary last week that included Robert Kent Jr. moving from halfback out to field corner.
Lions just sent 4 this time. Evans in trouble again, and he's taken down. To Hema. His first sack of the season as the Lions defensive line wreaks havoc on Caleb Evans.
Tehema working from his defensive end spot, and I know it's been a little bit of a frustrating start for him. Trying to get on that stats sheet. Here you'll see him fold back inside as he's able to push the tackle calendar upfield with that initial rush. Create a little bit of a gap to duck in.
Montreal not able to do anything after the interception by Beverette. 2 and outs. And Zemo will hang a high one out there. McGee takes it cleanly. Cuts it back just outside the 35. More twists, more turns, more challenges. Don't miss an all-new The Amazing Race Canada, Tuesdays on CTV, and then you can just stream it the next day on Crave. Tehema, 9 tackles, a couple tackles for a loss, a fumble recovery, but no sacks coming into this one.
Taking care of business in that category.
Look at the eye paint on just one eye. Curious, I'd like to know why.
It's a statement.
Yeah. Gagne's down. Just outside the 35 on the return from McGee.
Yeah, second-year man, backup linebacker. Keep an eye, number 43 on the far right side of your screen there. Battle, and I think Gagne, as he was trying to get in on the tackle, just and it fell across the legs.
He's up, walking off on his own. Good sign. Lions, after the return, will start on their own 36. 3-0 lead is what they have in the early going of this one. Go to Butler, found a little bit of a hole, now just pushes ahead. Looks like they're going to give him the first down. Nice carry from Butler.
Yeah, Butler finding new life here in his second tour of duty with the BC Lions. Nice cut there, duck inside the tackle, Chris Schlugger.
Lions will work from their 46. Berryhill and Hatcher slide over to the right of Rourke. Back to Butler again. Line of scrimmage, and really no further this time. James Butler tried to carry the momentum from ultimate revenge game last week against the Ticats.
Yeah, James Butler last year found himself a little bit of a spare part in Hamilton, particularly the back half of the season. Didn't get much action as they elected to go in a different direction. You know, and he wasn't really sure what his football future held for 2025, but excited to get this opportunity with the BC Lions and making the most of it so far. Big game last week against his old team.
He stands into the right of Rourke. Rourke down the field. Hatcher, he's got it inside the 45. Najee Murray was trailing, and Rourke dropped it in there. Great start to this game for Hatcher.
Yeah, Hatcher starting off on the inside here. He's just going to break it out. Just nice timing route between quarterback and receiver.
53 yards already in this game for Hatcher. Now Rourke to his right, down the field, and the big fella, Katoy, pushes it down inside the 25. 21 more for Rourke and Katoy.
And I love the speed with which a lot of different things unfold here. Fake to Butler. Rourke on the move. You see Katoy get into the hole and sit down.
Lions moving quickly here. Rourke, Eberhardt tried to one-handed. He got turned around, and he couldn't haul it in.
Yeah, we saw a similar look a little earlier in the game. Similar play. Eberhardt moving across the formation. Just that quick hitter into the flat. Had a nice gain on it last time, but unable to connect there.
Lions started this game with an excellent drive. Had to settle for a Sean White field goal. Putting together a nice drive here again, but find themselves in a 2nd and 10 from the Montreal 22. Just outside the red zone. Alouettes send 6. Rourke hangs in there, drops one out too far, and incomplete. And Sean White will get called into work again. 2nd pass in a row intended for Eberhardt.
Yeah, it looked like the BC offensive line did a nice job picking things up there to give Rourke time. He's just unable to make the connection with his intended receiver.
Sean White over 95% on the season. 2 outstanding kickers in this game today. 30-yard attempt for White. And no mistake, puts it home. And the BC Lions have a 6-0 lead late in the first quarter. Sean White, just one missed field goal on the year. Maltos Diaz on the other side is at 93%. He's 28 of 30. He's hit 5 from outside of 50 so far this year. So,
yeah, a couple of great stories, both the kickers in this ball game. Hopefully we'll have a chance to chat about them a little more as we go. You don't get to say that often.
Not very often.
I hope we get to talk about the kickers.
Maybe a little bit. Find some time. We'll see what happens. Maltos might try one from 65 in here today. On the ground. This time they'll tuck it in the belly of Steve Scott. He's got some positive yards. Different style of running back compared to Tice. Scott's 6'2", 230. He's a big boy.
Yeah, and Scott, a guy who joined the Alouettes last season, got a little bit of game action. What was a crowded Alouette backfield with Walter Fletcher here as well. Sean Thomas Erlington.
Evans moves everybody over to his right, throws in that direction, and they've got a first down. There's a flag back by the quarterback as Evans finds Tyler Sneed for the first time today.
Major foul, roughing the quarterback. BC number 8, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
I think that 8 might have been a 0. Sione Tehema coming off the edge. Yeah, it looked almost like he kind of realized it.
I'm going to hold you up and try to get away with it. Yeah, a little late. Alouettes in business here for the first time tonight. Just down inside the BC 40. Evans to his right, zips that in there quickly. Down to the 25, and he's got Rambo at his first catch of the day.
And Caleb Evans looking like he's starting to find a little bit of a rhythm here in this Montreal offense. And again, remember, this is a guy who's in his 3rd year in this system. He joined the Alouettes the same year that Jason Moss took over as head coach.
Quickly again down to the 20. Goes right back to Rambo on the other side of the field. And Sneed starting to move this Montreal offense. Nathan Rourke looked good so far. Threw an interception. They've had to settle for 2 field goals and a 6-0 lead. First quarter in the books here at BC Place. The Lions lead 6-0. Had the ball for 10 minutes in that first quarter.
Yeah, the stats in general maybe look a little bit one-sided along with that time of possession. But, you know, you were suggesting to me in the break, maybe not bad that the Alouettes have managed to beat down just 6-0 early on, holding the Lions to field goals. And now we saw at the end of the quarter, Caleb Evans and the Montreal offense starting to look like they're finding their groove a little bit.
You know, you mentioned a little bit about how Evans has been around this team. He's worked with some of the other quarterbacks, and yeah, he hasn't had many starts, but he's got to be very comfortable with what Jason Moss wants, right?
Yeah, that seems to be the case. And again, relatively small sample size, 3 starts for him through 2023 and 2024 for the Alouettes, but unbeaten in those games. So you recognize that Caleb Evans is a guy who gives you a chance.
Who does this guy think he is? Davis Alexander? Unbeaten in games as well for the Alouettes. Deep drop. Using his legs, freeing up some space. Now he's in trouble and he'll be taken down again. Tehema has got another.
Starting to get on a little bit of a roll coming from the left side of your screen. There's a twist. He loops inside, fights his way back outside as Evans tries to break contain. Nice adjustment on the play there from Tehema.
13-yard loss. And Evans is actually down on the field here after the tackle from Tehema. And they'll take a look at him. James Morgan will start throwing on the Montreal sideline. If he were to get into the game, they're 4 deep at the position.
Well, this would be the first regular season for Morgan, but again, a guy who is in his 2nd year with the Alouettes. Not brand new. By the way, with the injury to McLeod Bethel Thompson, Cameron Dukes, who spent the previous couple seasons with the Toronto Argonauts, was signed this week, so he's on the depth chart for today, the number 3 QB. Yes, saw Evans, the feet slid a little bit before the tackle happened as he tries to jam on the brakes here.
Saw him stand up right after the tackle, and then he went back down.
Yeah, I wonder a little bit about maybe something with that right ankle or Achilles, just the way he sort of slid as he tried to plant and stop. Don't want to over speculate, obviously, about injuries.
James Morgan is a 4th-round pick of the New York Jets in 2020. Played his college ball at Florida International and Bowling Green. And as Dwayne mentioned, he has been around the organization here for a couple of years. As they continue to work on Evans, we'll step away. Welcome back to Vancouver. Evans into the tent. Jason Moss wondering what happened here. Let's take another look at it, Dwayne.
Yeah, they seem to be looking at the right leg. It didn't look like he got rolled on awkwardly or anything on the actual tackle, and I wonder almost if he heard it as he tried to plant and put the brakes on just before he got taken down there.
Looks like he didn't even realize it until he got up. Felt it. Maltos Diaz smokes one through, and Montreal is on the board, trailing 6-3. Both kickers involved early in this one. There's Morgan pumping up his offensive line. Excited to get an opportunity here. After he was drafted by the Jets, he was with the Panthers, Steelers for a little bit in 2021. Colts, Cardinals, was with the Pittsburgh Maulers before they
Love
folded.
the Pittsburgh Maulers.
Big Maulers guy?
Big Maulers.
Yeah, you collect jerseys. You collect Pittsburgh Maulers jerseys. Rourke over 100 passing yards already. Finds Berryhill. Berryhill can't escape the tackle of Robert Kennedy for 4 yards on first down, and that's the 6th different player to catch a pass from Rourke tonight.
Yeah, and I think this has been one of the stories of the BC Lions offense in the first half of this season, has just been Rourke's ability to get everyone involved in the passing game.
Rourke will look for 6 more here. It'll be an empty backfield as he takes the snap. And he's got just enough for a first down. Wasted no time, knew exactly where that ball was going. And it's back in the hands of Hatcher for the 5th time today.
Yeah, you're going to see Hatcher just get past that first down marker. They're sitting off me, turn around, I got room. Give your quarterback a target. Move the sticks.
When they execute it like that, it looks so easy. You just run out there and I'll quickly hit you.
Yeah.
Let's just do that again and again and again. Montreal's defense, though, has been pretty good so far this year. They allow just under 24 points per game. That's the 3rd best total in the league, and they also allow the fewest yards per game. Butler this time runs into trouble. Sankey, among others, they're waiting for him as he hit the line of scrimmage. About 1.5 yards, maybe 2.
James Butler talked a little bit about these Montreal Alouette linebackers when we chatted with him this week, and suggested that he thought the combination of Darnell Sankey and Tyrese Beverette as a duo were the best in the Canadian Football League.
I don't think it's a stretch.
No, it certainly isn't.
Nothing against all of the other linebacker combinations.
A lot of good competition,
yeah.
no doubt. But yeah, these guys are at the very least deep in the conversation.
Here's Butler, has a little bit of room, and he's got a first down. Hangs on to the ball. Burns will finish him off. But that's Butler through the air. We know he's one of the best in the league at that.
Yeah, Butler to the right side of your screen is just going to sneak free release. Quick hitter off the unblocked man. Hot throw, basically into the area vacated. With Wesley Sutton
coming into the game here, Butler 26 catches for 233 yards. There's a look at Rourke so far today. Quickly over the middle, up to the 40. Battle for the ball here, but that's his fullback Pickett with his second catch of the game.
And we talked a little bit about Pickett earlier, getting a few more touches. Defensive lineman during his time at the University of Saskatchewan. This is a guy who in Canadian Junior Football League was actually Defensive Lineman of the Year. So pretty successful playing that position before he went to U of S. Drafted as a D lineman, but making the move here.
Back to Butler, trying to get a secondary push, but he'll be stopped short as they run it on 2nd and 4. Got about a yard. And Rourke waits for a decision to come in from Buck Pierce. And it will be Sean White who will be trotted out here. White's only miss of the year was his only attempt from beyond 50. He's been perfect inside 50, and this one will be set up just outside the Montreal 45. It's going to be weird when that guy's not around anymore.
First started practicing with the BC Lions as a junior player in 2007.
18 years ago. White puts that one up and has enough. Right down the middle. BC on top, 9-3. James Morgan gets the ball for Montreal when we return. Well, we were talking a little bit earlier how it's a great opportunity for Caleb Evans to get his 4th start with Montreal. Now, same can be said for James Morgan getting into a CFL regular season game here, and let's see what he's made of.
Yeah, again, Morgan, we've seen him a little bit the last couple of preseasons, but really getting his first look in the regular season here.
Starts it on his own 40, gets it away. And that big hit, ball popped out Alway, and a flag does fly. Dallaire, as he turned, Alway got him pretty good.
And we'll take another look here. Micah Alway, always something magnetic pull to the ball.
Ooh. Alway has 67 tackles, which is 33 more than 2nd on the team.
Yeah. Yeah. Keeps finding his way. I say he's a bit of a, it's as if he's got a homing device getting to the football. He's got a homing device coming back to BC, 3rd tour of duty here with the Lions. This is where he began his career.
There's no flag on the play. Ball is short, it's 2nd down.
2nd and inches. Always 7.4 tackles per game. He's on a 134 tackle pace right now.
And I would describe Micah Alway as one of those guys who I think is a guy who genuinely has improved with age. Become a more productive player over the course of his career.
This is Dallaire, who just got hit. He's going to handle short yardage, and he'll push it ahead, and that'll be a 1st down for Montreal.
And it would be interesting to know if prior to the Evans injury, if Dallaire was slated to do short yardage. He did it in college at Laval. And there you see the numbers for Micah Alway. He and Cam Judge played beside each other in Calgary the last couple of years, both on the move. They go 1-2 with Jacob Roberts, who takes over in Calgary as number 3.
Roberts has really burst onto the scene this year. His second year in Calgary, first full season getting a chance to start. He's one of those guys who gets to the ball quite often. Handed off. Tice, good burst, takes it out to the 50. Another first down for the Alouettes. 10 more for Travis Tice, his best carry of the ball game.
Yeah, and burst is a great way to describe the way Travis Tice runs the football. You see the acceleration. Nice job sealing the edge from the Alouette offensive line, allowing him to get towards that sideline, pick up the first down. Very physical runner.
Even behind Sean Thomas Erlington, he had 47 carries on the year coming into this one. Morgan tosses it ahead. He's got a little bit of room again. Tice, first down and more. Takes it down all the way to the 30 before he's taken down by Josh Woods. And some creative play calling here for Montreal with James Morgan in the game.
And Tice starting deep in that backfield behind his quarterback, Morgan. Little play action there, and then almost like an option path where you draw the end upfield. Edge defender Adam Konar was in on that play. Suck him in, and it's that can't win, right? Isolating a guy on the edge.
Morgan, deep drop. Has time, there's a flag down the field. That was deflected, intercepted, and brought back the other way. Beaulieu tackled at the 40. We'll have to see what the flag is. James Morgan, first career interception thrown, but I believe this is against the Lions.
Illegal contact. BC number 24. 10-yard penalty. Penalty will result in a first down.
Patrice Rene, he'll argue the call.
Well, we'll try to get another look, but Morgan took a hit just as he tried to release that ball, which led to the ball sort of floating into nowhere.
Just sort of popped up in the air, yeah. Penalty will move the ball inside the red zone. First time today for the Alouettes. Scott takes it right up the middle. Pretty good push ahead on first down, and this will be second and reasonable for the Alouettes offense.
Just looking back at the penalty there, you see Patrice Rene. Watch for contact here. The receiver is making his release. Just enough, just on the right side of your screen there to draw the flag and keep the Alouette drive alive, negating the Christophe Beaulieu interception.
Seventh play of this drive for James Morgan. 4 options out to his left. Looks in that direction. Hit as he throws too high. Trying to find Sneed. Morgan bounces up right in the face of Matthew Betts. Took a heavy blow as he attempted that pass.
You've got pressure coming in a hurry. Off the edge, Josh Woods. The linebacker delivers a shot just as Morgan lets that one go. Obviously that impacting the accuracy of the throw as it sails high.
Maltos Diaz to once again cut the lead to 3. Chip shot for him, and he'll put that one home. Alouettes get points off the James Morgan drive. Woods welcoming him to the Canadian Football League. La Liga is back, and it's all on TSN Plus. Catch every match, every week, all season. Get a 6-month TSN Plus pass for just $32.99. Visit tsn.ca/plus. Offer ends September 1st. Terms to apply. There's Evans. Right knee wrapped up. We'll watch for the rest of this one. Rourke, Butler, big hit. Ball pops out. It'll be ruled an incomplete pass and blown down. Butler bounces right back up, though.
Yeah, you've got ball and defender arriving at exactly the same time for Jamie. Butler in the flat.
Lorenzo Burns making him pay the price.
Well-timed hit, not without maybe some after effects for the hitter in that instance.
Empty backfield this time for Rourke. Finds McInnes. McInnes lowers his shoulders, and he's got a BC Lions first down. 12 more for 18 in black and orange.
You sometimes have to remember, even though Nathan Rourke is coming back to the only CFL team he's been with, you know, he and Justin McInnes didn't have a ton of time together. McInnes' rise sort of came during VA's time as the starting QB here.
Starting to get going now. Back to Butler, trying to escape, and he does. Butler down inside the 40, and he'll be tripped up and taken down by Sankey, but that's Butler's biggest play of the game, goes for 26.
Yeah, piling up most of those 26 yards after contact. As you see, looks like he might get wrapped up right there. And just to run through that tackle. Keep the legs churning.
Sean Lemon, who had a crack at him, but couldn't hang on. Rourke wanting to throw again. Pocket collapses, spins out of it, and now he's on the run. Rourke looking for a block, got it. Takes it down inside the 10, and he's hammered just outside the 5 by Najee Murray. But this time it was Rourke using his legs to escape and find a big chunk.
Well, the BC Lions' top 2 rushers getting it done here. I want to keep an eye on number 61 here, Anu Una, because he makes a great decision that allows this play to stand. You can't take that peel back block, but he kind of gets in the way. But he's not going to take a shot at the player, but forces the defender to ease up a little bit. Just a great heads up there not to hurt the play by the second-year man.
Coming into the game tonight, 61% inside the red zone were the BC Lions. Rourke will work for the Montreal 5, 1st and goal. Tosses it to Butler. Redwell broken up, driven back. Canton Arcou from the start was all over it.
Yeah, big play here from the Montreal defense. Again, it's that shovel pass option type situation where you isolate a defender, but that time Sean Lemon had a little backup when he took the quarterback.
We've hit 3 minutes in Vancouver. BC Lions with the lead and looking for more.
It's all about the kickers so far in this one, although the Lions now knocking on the door when it comes to getting our first touchdown of this game. We got the Captain Morgan, making an appearance as well. Halftime, plenty to talk about, plus we'll take a look back at what's happened already in week number 11. Dustin.
Excellent Captain Morgan reference.
I think you're familiar with him.
Never heard of it. Here's Rourke. Looks to his left. Gets it away. A little bit of a jump pass. Touchdown, Lions. McInnes. Second of the year for the big fella.
Well, a drive put together on the strength of a couple of runs by Butler and Rourke finishes via the pass. Nathan Rourke finding an open Justin McInnis at the goal line.
Six-play, 70-yard drive, just under 3 minutes. McInnis, who had that huge game last week, did not have a touchdown in that game. Almost 160 yards. Has the touchdown here. Sean White for one more. That is up, and the lead is 10 for the BC Lions here at home, where they've lost their last 3 games.
Here you'll see McInnis lined up on the inside, tight to the formation. He's just going to work his way across. And you saw Beverette kind of be held by what was going on in the box. Was late to react to McInnis working across his face there.
13th passing touchdown of the year for that man, Nathan Rourke.
And his excitement to not yield on this drive to kicker Sean White.
They'd been moving the ball relatively well,
yeah.
right? They just had to keep settling for the field goals. Not that time. James Morgan will get another crack at it here. Managed to lead a field goal drive last time out. Sneed on the return for Montreal. Jumps over one man, finds a little bit of space. Pretty good effort on the return to the 40 from one receiver to another. How about a return to BC here for Alexander Hollins? Let's send it down to Farhan Lalji.
Yeah, Dusty, very much a homecoming for Hollins, who is still very close to a number of players in the BC Lions locker room. He spent the first 3 years of his career here. Last night, he was out with Keon Hatcher and Justin McInnis. They were having some wings, talking about old times. He definitely wanted to be back. Last year was a challenging one, and there was some debate as to the level of his knee injury and how much that impacted him. He did have arthroscopic knee surgery to clean out his cartilage at the end of the year. A return didn't work out. Eventually, after Edmonton, he made his way to Montreal, and he said one of the things that has helped him is the offense Jordan McSimic ran previously with the Lions is very similar to what Jason Moss does. The two men work together in Edmonton, and that's allowed him to learn multiple positions and get on the field fairly early here.
And walk onto the field now after that catch by Rambo. Chance to catch up with some of his former teammates.
Yeah, you saw him making the rounds, and obviously a number of Lions very happy to see Alex Hollins back in the building, if only for a day.
2023, he might have been one of the best deep threats in the entire league.
No question.
Right? Just
no question.
Really clicked for him that year. Just under 1,000 yards last year as well. Quick hitter
Timer,
to Rambo.
please reset the clock to 2:28.
Quick hitter to Rambo has Montreal just outside their 50. Morgan has started his time in this game 3 of 4 for 43 yards. Trying to settle in. If you're just joining us, Caleb Evans on the sideline with his knee on ice. Morgan over the middle. Way too much juice on that one, and it falls incomplete.
Well, Montreal obviously is a team that has had some success with their backup quarterbacks, particularly in the Jason Moss era. Maybe fitting, given the success that Moss had in his career, much of it spent backing up Ricky Ray. But Moss had some big moments of his own in Edmonton. But the last couple of years, Montreal unbeaten with their backup quarterbacks playing, whether it was Caleb Evans or Davis Alexander.
Morgan has Hollins. Won't be enough for the first down. We'll need about 3 more. 2.5 maybe. There's a flag back by the quarterback, though.
And we'll see Morgan.
Major foul, roughing the passer. BC number 3. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Get the head a little bit.
Yeah, Mike Alway came in a little high on this one. Catching Morgan in the face mask.
A couple big penalties in this quarter that have aided the Alouettes. This moves them down well within the field goal range of Montreal Diaz. BC so far this year actually has lost to 2 backup quarterbacks. Shout out Farham Algi for mentioning that to me again earlier today. They lost to Strevler. They lost to Jake Mayer, trying to avoid a 3rd backup quarterback loss here today. This is the backup of the backup of the backup, technically. Now they'll get it to Tice. And once again, boy, when he finds some room, that guy can move.
Yeah, I've enjoyed watching Travis Tice in the early going. We've seen him on special teams in the absence of James Letcher Jr. Big return for him last week. But also some of the moments we've seen from him on offense.
Gary Peters, a veteran corner, getting over there to make the tackle. 3rd trip to the red zone today for the Alouettes. 0 for 2 so far. Can Morgan change that here? Near side, wide open. Sibasu taken down by Peters and Woods. Decent enough pickup on 1st down.
Watch Matthew Betts coming off the edge. Here is, I think, one of the things we're learning in the early going is that James Morgan can take a hit.
Taking a few of them.
Yeah. Enrique Sibasu, veteran receiver, former Montreal Alouettes.
And a little bit more involved in the offense lately.
Yeah, a lot of injuries in this receiving corps.
Timeout, Montreal.
Morgan called that timeout. Wants to have a quick look at things with Jason Moss. What do you? I mean, he takes a hit, but what have you thought of the ball he's thrown so far?
I think he's done a nice job so far. You can see, obviously, like any quarterback, pressure affecting him a little bit at times, right? Affecting the accuracy. But I think coming into the ball game, they did a nice job with, in terms of their play calling. Try and get the ball out quickly. Let him get into a little bit of a flow.
If you're BC, do you dial up some pressure here and just go after him on 2nd and 6?
I suspect that's what we'll see, yeah.
Well, we'll see what Montreal's got up their sleeve on this one.
Yeah, with a quarterback getting his first game action, regular season game action here in the Canadian Football League. I suspect veteran D coordinator Mike Benavides has a few tricks up his sleeve he wants to test the young guy with.
Sneed will slide over in the slot to the right. They're going to throw to the left, and it is batted down by Betts. And that'll be another field goal attempt for the Montreal Alouettes.
And you'll see Betts, who's just going to come free off the edge, get the hands up. Offensive line letting them go to try and get out there for that screen on the perimeter, but Betts breaks that up. You can see Hollins ready to catch the hitch.
Benavides likes what he sees from his defense. Montreal Diaz, about as automatic as you can be over the last month or so. And he's 3 for 3 today, providing all of the offense for the Alouettes so far in this one. Going to be tough to keep pace with Nathan Rourke if you can't find the end zone once or twice.
Yeah, you saw BC finally breaking that goal line on their last drive. Alouettes not quite there yet. But Morgan showing signs he's fairly comfortable running this offense.
Halftime coverage coming up. Don't go anywhere. Laura and the guys will be breaking this one down. We'll get their thoughts on first real look at James Morgan here in live action.
You see Cam Dukes sitting beside him, left side of the screen. The newest Alouette quarterback.
Rourke still has some time here, over a minute to work. He'll get it to Butler. Find something on the edge. Nothing really there. Gets about a yard on the play. Najee Murray, among others, in on the tackle.
Yeah, it was a really interesting chat with James Butler. this week. As he said, he was getting his resume together, starting to apply for jobs with the way last season ended. Started to doubt himself a little bit as to whether he could do it, but all motivated him to work just that much harder in the off season, and seeing the results.
Rourke. McInnes just outside the 45. Ball pops out. Alouettes are on it. And did they strip that away from Justin McInnes as he tried to fight for some extra yards? James Butler upfield, and they'll say Montreal ball.
I wondered initially if this one might get blown dead based on sort of the stalemate in terms of McInnes's progress. You see a couple defenders, may have been Najee Murray, looking like he was trying to start a lawnmower there, pulling at the ball. Wesley Sutton.
Hamlin in there too.
Yeah.
Pretty close to forward progress, but not enough. Really. Turnover will stand. Replay center took a quick peek at it, like the call on the field. Montreal ball. Morgan, Sneed, wide open, but turns into traffic. Peters is there, Woods as well, and they drive him back after a pickup of 4 yards.
We'll take a look back at the Justin McInnes fumble. He's still on his feet, still fighting. Call stands.
Tice on a swing pass. Outside the 50. Won't be enough for the first down for the Alouettes. Third and about 4. Jason Moss was thinking about this one for quite some time.
Yeah, trying to figure out if there was a way to ensure they could eat up that time. But not the case here.
Seven McGee waits back on his own 10-yard line. His team up by 7. Zima, end over ender, bounces in there to McGee at the 10. There's a flag as he turns it back upfield after a 48-yard kick. 6 seconds, 5 seconds now left on the clock. Montreal Alouettes.
During the return, holding, BC number 27. Half distance to the goal, first down.
Alouettes defense has kept them within striking distance here. You know, a couple of turnovers, middle of the field, giving them a chance in the second half with their 4th string quarterback at the helm.
Alouettes will get a chance to go into the room at halftime here and catch their breath, regroup. And this is a team, we've talked a lot about the quarterback injuries, but you consider Tyson Philpott and Austin Mack both on the 1-game injured list. You don't necessarily notice it because with guys like Speaker and Sneed, Rambo still doing their thing. It's a deep receiving core. That's 2 pretty significant pieces to be without.
Yeah, Sneed and Speaker specifically have had outstanding years, but still Mack and Philpott at it. They're 5 strong at the position. A little pushing and shoving here at the end of the half. Montreal, BC, the Lions, 18 minutes of possession in the first half. Evans with crutches and an ice pack on his knee. Justin McInnes, after a big game last week, finding the end zone here today.
Yeah, McInnes, we mentioned 8 catches, 159 yards a week ago. He went over 100 6 catches and 109 last time out versus Montreal, and off to a pretty good start against his hometown team here today. And Justin now joins our Farhan Lalji.
Justin, let's start with the fumble. It certainly looked like you may have had forward progress. What were your thoughts, and what did the officials say?
It doesn't matter at this point. They call what they call. Can't worry about it now. Second half's coming up soon. We got to go execute.
You finally were able to score a touchdown. You guys have dominated offensively, but until then haven't been able to finish. How important was it to get one, and what can you do to get more effective in the red zone?
Absolutely. Just got to keep doing that. First down, second down, just got to have a good first down, make it easy on us second down. But yeah, we just got to finish drives. No excuses. We're driving the ball up and down the field and stalling, so we just got to finish those drives in the end zone.
Thanks, Justin.
Thank you.
Welcome back to a Saturday in Vancouver as the BC Lions and Montreal Alouettes get set for second half action. And it's the BC Lions on top, 19-6. Uphill battle for the Alouettes, who are on to their 4th string quarterback, James Morgan, who stands by with Farhan Lalji.
James, when you start the season 4th on the depth chart, I'm not sure if you imagined you'd be in midway through the season. Just what's going through your mind right now?
I think that's the thing about being a pro quarterback is you always need to be ready. You never know when you get your shot, and so that's just kind of been my mentality, and it hasn't changed, and so I'm just going to execute like I know I can.
It is your second year in the system, so you have an understanding of what Coach Moss expects. What do you expect to be allowed to do here in the second half?
I'm just going to trust him. Whatever he calls, I know that, I trust how he sees the game. I think he sees it very well, and so he's got a plan, and just going to go out and execute the plays he calls.
Thanks for this. Enjoy the opportunity.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
I believe I said it was 19-6. It's actually 16-9. 7-point ball game, and Jason Moss and his Alouettes will see if they can put together a couple of successful drives here. BC has not had to punt yet in this ball game. 3 field goals, a touchdown, a couple of turnovers, and then a knee at the end of the first half. BC has lost 3 in a row at home. They hope to change that here with a nice little cushion to start the 3rd quarter. This will be brought back on the far sideline by Scott. Spins it ahead to about the 40. There's James Morgan, who took over in the first half because everybody else is hurt. Here's a look at how they were injured.
Yeah, it's been that kind of season. Davis Alexander re-aggravating that hamstring injury against Toronto. McLeod Bethel Thompson having some trouble with that elbow. He left the game last week. Caleb Evans came on. Suffers a right knee injury on that first half play. And that's the story of how James Morgan found himself under center here to start the second half.
And in case you were wondering if he gets hurt, they did sign Cam Dukes. Sibusu, quick hitter, tackled immediately by Rene. Short pickup, 2 yards.
Yeah, Sibusu, we talked about him in the first half from the Université de Montréal. Originally a Toronto Argonaut draft pick, found his way back home. Dominant receiver during his college career with the Carabins. Big target. And an opportunity to play here in the absence primarily of Tyson Philpott.
Yeah, 6'3", over 220 pounds. Morgan down the field, looking for Sneed, broken up. Sneed looking for the flag on Deontay Williams, but no such flag comes. There's already a challenge flag thrown on the field. Moss wasting no time here.
Montreal is challenging the play for defensive pass interference. We're going to review the play.
And we'll take a look at the timing on this one as Sneed has a step. You know, I will say that I thought that was just a split second early on the contact. And I'm usually pretty forgiving on these, but there you see him hitting that arm that really prevents Sneed from pulling in the football that I suspect is going to impact the call here.
We see a lot of what we describe as tic-tac PI calls, but that was a pretty good slap of the arm right before the ball came down. Moss, like I said, that challenge play was out immediately. Here's the ruling.
After review by the replay center, we have defensive pass interference. BC number 9. Ball will be placed at the spot of the foul. Automatic first down.
And I think this is the right call. Very close play for Deontay Williams, but that chop on the arm, I think a decisive factor. And you know, you heard Farhan ask James Morgan coming out after halftime there, what do you think Jason Moss is going to let you do, allow you to do out there? This throw kind of makes me think,
yeah,
everything is the
answer. Open that playbook up.
Yeah, no question. I know
from ball.
Talking to Jason Moss about players at other positions, I mean, their expectation, his expectation, you're in there, expect you to perform like the starting quarterback.
42-yard swing on the penalty. Tice now will be wrapped up after getting to about the 20. Tackle made by Gary Peters. 5-yard pickup. Tice in the first half. It's 14 yards on the ground, but had 41 through the air on 3 catches.
Yeah, versatile guy. Not the biggest running back, 5'9", 208. But just runs hard, physical, fast, explodes into contact. Been fun to watch.
Flags fly here before the ball could be snapped.
See who wins out here in the battle of the finger pointing.
Penalties in this game. 6 for the Lions. Just 1 on the Alouettes.
We'll take a look. Decide for yourselves.
Offside. BC number 90. 5-yard penalty, which will result in a first down.
You saw the movement from the tight end of David Dallaire. He's moving as a receiver laterally along the line of scrimmage.
Legal movement there by him. Draws Betts. Offside. And the Alouettes in the red zone again have not been able to find the end zone just yet. Morgan has to get that one away. And that was Betts in his face again. Those two have a nice little back and forth brewing here in Vancouver.
Yeah, James Morgan is quickly getting to know Matthew Betts, as number 90 has been in the backfield a little bit. Plays off that run, gets in the quarterback's face. Again, just that pressure taking away the time for Morgan, impacting the accuracy of the throw.
And the Lions defense stop him again. That one almost intercepted. Boy, Gary Peters shot out of a cannon after that ball.
Yeah, terrific break to cut in front of the receiver on that one. Peters, the veteran on the back end for these BC Lions.
Back to work for Maltos Diaz. He already has a couple from 20, 21. They made that deeper one from 41. This one, just a 24-yarder inside the right hash. That one is up, and doink! Off the upright from 24 from Maltos Diaz. As surprising as you can get with that guy who's been near automatic this season. That's a bit of a stunner for one of the most reliable kickers in the Canadian Football League. Well, over his last 4 games, Maltos Diaz was 12 for 12. And he was 3 for 3 so far in this one. And from 24 yards, he just pulled it.
Yeah, it looked like a pretty clean operation. Snap was in a good spot, but yeah, just hooking that one a little bit.
Shock on the face of Jason Moss. BC will start the drive in the hands of Butler. Takes it out beyond the 35. Let's take a look at the first half from Nathan Rourke.
Yeah, Nathan Rourke had the BC Lions offense out on the field for much of that first half. Moving the football, spreading it around to a number of different receivers. Big run on a that helped set up the Justin McInnis touchdown. Rourke in a pretty good groove. As we often say, like to see Sean White out there kicking extra points more than field goals.
Flags here. 27 yards on that one carry for Rourke. 178 yards through the air.
Procedure. BC number 61. 5-yard penalty. Remains first down. Sorry, second down.
Guilty party there. Now moving from 2nd and 3 to 2nd and 8 for the Lions. Dwayne mentioned they had the ball for much of the first half. It was about 18 minutes to 12 minutes time of possession in favor of the Lions, but just the one touchdown to show for it, plus the 3 field goals from Sean White. Slide everybody out, 3 to the left, 3 to the right for Rourke. Looks to his left, now over the middle, spins away from some pressure. He's on the run, cuts it back. Look out, they'll get him from behind. Stays on his feet and they'll blow it down. Sean Lemon eventually backtracked and got his hands on Nathan Rourke.
Yeah, 2nd and long. They're just going to shrink all the passing windows with 9 guys dropping in coverage. I'm not even going to call this a 3-man rush. It's kind of a 2.5-man rush. As you're going to see, Isaac Adeyemi-Berglund is just kind of spying, staying at the line of scrimmage, not really getting upfield until Rourke starts to scramble.
First 2 and out, first punt of the game for the BC Lions. Carl Meyer, a big one. On the return, Tice, he's hammered. There's a flag back around the 20 as well. Nathan Rourke didn't see this coming to the last second. Lemon tracked him down. BMW Championship continues tomorrow with final round action. Coverage will get underway 9 a.m. Eastern, 6 a.m. Pacific on TSN+. Robert McIntyre remains in the lead at 16 under. Scotty Scheffler 4 back going in to Sunday. Should be some drama at the BMW Championship. James Morgan, 9 of 14 for 82 yards. His team still down by just 7. This time he'll hand it off to the bigger of his 2 backs, Stevie Scott, with a carry right up the middle.
Yeah, Scott came into this game having carried the ball just 8 times so far this season. And it's been Sean Millington was just here waving the flag. Sean Thomas Erlington.
We got to clarify that one. Yes. They were just mentioning it.
Waving the big flag to get the fans going here in BC Place.
Back to Scott again, and that's a big body moving that ball. He'll carry it all the way out to the 25. Out of Indiana is Scott.
See Dallaire looking for the kick out block. Scott hits it up the gut.
A rare breed for CFL running back. 6'2", 230 pounds.
And sort of body type reminds me a little bit of former Argonaut Corey Boyd.
Big body like that. Dallaire this time broke 1 tackle, stays on his feet, took another big hit from Alway, who got him earlier in the game as well. And Alway will stand over him and send a message on the sideline.
Yeah, Dallaire is shaken up by that one.
same two players came together in the first half.
Yeah, you heard Davis Sanchez talk a little bit about the heat-seeking missile. Wonder if he might have been a little high on this one.
Great effort by Dallaire.
Yeah, no question, fighting for yards.
Officials still trying to sort this out on the near sideline. Dallaire is down. They continue to look at him. Fifth tackle of the game for Alouette.
Yeah, and Dallaire. After this one, regardless of the trainers having a look at him, injury spotters, no doubt we're all over this one. The possibility of removing him from the game, and that leads them as well in the replay center to take a further look at the hit that caused the injury.
We will step away in Vancouver as they continue to look at David Dallaire. Dallaire is up, and he has been taken into the tent on the Alouettes sideline. We'll give you a couple more looks at this. Replay center has taken a couple looks at this heavy blow from Alouette.
Yeah, and you can see it did look like he came in high, maybe kind of ducked his head going into contact, so we'll find out here.
After automatic review by the replay center, we have spearing, BC number 3. 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
15-yard spearing penalty on Alouette, and a first down for the Alouettes. Look at this. Look at the penalty difference in this game.
Yeah. Big, and part of what has kept this game as close as it is. You know, I mean, in terms of that hit, like, I love the ferocity of Micah Alouette's game. I fully appreciate it. Football's a physical game. I love a tone setter like that. In that instance, that was the right call.
Morgan, far side of the field. Got it there in time, but they could not hang on to it. Ronald Kent Jr. came over and took down Hollins before he could regroup on that football.
Yeah, matchup that may have occurred in practice a little bit last season. Kent.
Right off the face mask of Hollins.
The youngster getting over there to make sure he didn't have a chance to regroup and recover.
2nd and 10. Scott, nowhere to go. Wrapped up immediately. Josh Woods all over him. And Montreal will be forced to kick it away again.
And Josh Woods looking a little more like himself week after week, recovering from knee injury last season. He's been gradually working his way back into this BC Lions lineup, growing role over recent weeks, pretty much up to playing full time at this point.
Zima settles in, waits for the snap. McGee will wait for the ball at the other end. High spiraling kick dropped in there. McGee near sideline. Big hit there. Flag on the return on the far sideline. Sean Lemon speaking very highly at Emmy Berglund. For more on that, we're going to send it down to Farhan Lalji.
Yeah, guys, the two men became very close in Calgary when Adiemi Berglund was a rookie. Lemon took him under his wing. Late that season, the two men were in Ottawa. It was late. They were watching some film, and Lemon said to him, "We're not leaving Ottawa until you get your first sack." Sure enough, he did the next day. This offseason, Lemon went to Danny Machocha and said this guy would be a really good fit in our room. He also went to the player and said, "Look, you need to come here. This would be great for you." And after training camp, Adeyemi Berglund would go to Lemon's home, and the two men would then go down to a park, and they would do additional pass rush drills. Lemon was trying to stay sharp. He was still in Montreal during the offseason. He has told him, when you are pass rushing, you need to be decisive. You need to know what's happening in protection, what you can and can't get away with. But he thinks this guy, who's now become a veteran, has got a great future still to come.
Listen to a guy who had 100 sacks, over 100 sacks.
Yeah, pretty good mentor to have in that regard.
Rourke down the field. Hatcher got it. Oh, he hung on, didn't he? Out at the 50. Highlight reel stuff from Keon Hatcher.
Yeah, this play is made by Nathan Rourke standing in. Darnell Sankey bearing down on him. Rourke knows the linebacker's coming free, but he also knows he's got one of the CFL's most dangerous receivers in Keon Hatcher. Open down the numbers.
Hatcher with 100 in the game. That's his fourth 100-yard game of the season. And he'll move over in the slot to the right of Rourke. Rourke wanting to throw again. Wide open, far side. McInnes and the 1-2 punch. Hatcher and McInnes keep the chains moving for BC.
Yeah, Rourke gunning that one all the way out to the sideline. McInnes lining up as the wide out here. Field side. Corner disappears. Take that throw. Long way out, but plenty of time before the defender can close on it.
Rourke 18 of 25. This time Butler up and over. Had some space right up the middle. He knows it too. Hey,
yeah, if he could have kept his feet on that leap, he'd still be running. Got a look right here. He was tripped up by his own blocker, who was down on the ground there. Terrell Broxton.
Butler averaging 5.7 yards per carry tonight. That's right about his season average of 5.6. 2nd and 6 here. Rourke, time, has a man inside the 30, and that is Berryhill, just his second catch of the ball game, but another first down for the Lions. 18 yards to 83.
And you're just going to see Berryhill work across the formation, try and create a little traffic for Wesley Sutton, who's in hot pursuit.
Rourke will move everybody out to his right. Berryhill, McInnes, Hatcher. Now Rourke back to Hatcher. Made a move inside the 10, and they'll hang on for dear life. Sutton takes him down.
And you see the awareness here as Rourke starts running to his right, and you think he's just thinking about escaping the pocket. But he's aware he's got a receiver in the middle that he can just kind of pull up, zip it to Hatcher underneath. By the way, maybe a preview of a most outstanding Canadian race. Isaac Adeyemi Berglund chasing after Nathan Rourke on that last play.
Definitely in the conversation, both of them. Rourke keeps it on the run to his left. Hatcher, touchdown BC. The Lions strike again. Rourke, Hatcher, BC in full control.
Let's go.
You wonder a little bit in a game like this, where we talked a lot about the difference in time of possession through the first half of this ball game, that Montreal kept the score close, but their defense had been on the field a lot. You just wonder as the game goes on if that fatigue is maybe becoming a little bit of a factor for the Alouette D.
Sean White for a 14-point cushion. Second touchdown of the day for Nathan Rourke. Flag on the attempt from White.
Pyramiding, Montreal number 98. That penalty will be applied on the kickoff.
Nathan Rourke, 274 yards, 2 touchdowns. This one to Hatcher, completes a 6-play, 100-yard drive.
Nathan Rourke leading his team on a 100-yard touchdown drive. It all started with this one. Get out of their own end. Bomb to Keon Hatcher. Finds Justin McInnes along the sideline. Stanley Berryhill across the middle. And Hatcher underneath. And he's worked so hard on the drive, why not let him finish it? Hatcher in the end zone.
The number of weapons that Rourke has is, I don't want to say unfair, because other teams have many good receivers as well, but this combination of Hatcher and McInnes, sprinkle in some Everhart, Berryhill, a bit of a unicorn in Katoy.
Yeah.
As well, and then James Butler, who's been targeted over 40 times out of the backfield.
Yeah, that's it. They seem to have mastered the balance piece as well as anybody
Illegal
in the Canadian
kickoff
Football
out of
League.
bounds, BC. Ball will be placed at the 40-yard line.
Yet here they are. They're just 4-5 on the year.
Yeah.
Right? Like, they've had some turnover issues for sure. They're trying to work their way through. They've got a turnover ratio coming into this game of -8. Have committed a couple turnovers in this game, and that -8 is actually second last in the league. So look after the football, and maybe good things could happen for this team.
Yeah, that's it. Clean it up in the second half.
All right, back to James Morgan. Speaker. Peters on him immediately. First catch of the ball game for Cole Speaker, if you can believe it.
Quiet night for one of the Alouette receiving leaders. Gary Peters doing a good job there, fighting through the block from Charleston Rambo, and takes a bit of a shot in that collision from the 215-pound Speaker, but hangs on.
Speaker leads the team in touchdowns with 4. Some time here for Morgan, and he's got a man inside the 50. A nice move, and it's Sneed. Sneed will be tracked down at the 30 and taken out of bounds, and a flag does fly right at the end of the play. Some hands up by face masks. I'm not sure if that's what it's going to be, but we'll get the call on this one.
And we've seen Morgan.
Major foul, face mask. Montreal number 83. 15-yard penalty, first down.
So yeah, Sneed trying to deliver the straight arm. Lifted the helmet off the defender. 2 receiver working across the field. Nice throw by Morgan as he's given time to work in the pocket on that one. There you see, got up underneath the face mask trying to straight arm the defender, Carter.
Sneed leading the Alouettes today with 58 yards through the air. Hit with the penalty there. They've actually stayed relatively disciplined in this game so far, have the Alouettes. Trying to get themselves back into it here. Tice on the carry. Few yards on that initial push ahead. Awe to Hema in on the tackle.
Still plenty of time in this ball game from an Alouette perspective. to get some points on the board here. Maybe even get this back to being a one-possession football game would be huge for the Owls.
They've been in the red zone 4 times today. No touchdowns and 1 missed field goal in that situation. Lions will just send 4. Morgan gets it away. Rambo goes down, and that's right at the first down marker, and the Montreal Alouettes will move the chains.
And as we've made mention of the time of possession situation in this ball game, you know, the Alouettes sustaining a drive here as well, a very valuable thing at this point. Get their defense off the field for a little bit. Maybe try and take the legs away from that BCD as well.
Final play, 3rd quarter. Montreal down 14. 4 options wide side left for Morgan. That's where he looks. Now he's just going to throw it at the feet of the line.
Yeah, they had a screen called there. The running back, Tice, the desired target, but he kind of got swallowed up by the BC defense.
Morgan's making a case for himself to make sure it wasn't intentional.
Rolling on the field, just an incomplete pass. Number 30 was within the area.
There you go. Tice was in the area. Hard-hitting affair here in Vancouver, and it's the BC Lions trying to snap a 3-game slide at home with a 23-9 lead. BC Lions with a comfortable lead at home as we get set to open up the 4th quarter. Montreal has moved the ball. They've got to the red zone 4 times, but they're marching again. You got to have something to show for it here, Dwayne.
Yeah, it's just been that case of consistency, making plays at critical times in this football game. You got to finish, and as we now get into the 4th quarter of this football game, it becomes even more crucial for James Morgan and the Alouette offense.
Yeah, you do not want to have to settle for another field goal when you are down 14. Maltos Diaz with a rare miss in this game. Second and 10. Morgan, one of the biggest plays of the game for him. Dumps it off. Nowhere to go. Renee and Peters are there to wrap up Siusu.
And you'll see Sibasu starting off in the backfield here. So trying to look for a different target on the screen. There you see Renee and Peters just doing a terrific job beating their blocks, quite frankly, to get in there and make a play.
Peters has been all over the place today. He's got 6 tackles. Renee got credit for that one. That's his 4th of the game. And that is up. And a little bit of a bounce back there for Maltos Diaz.
The only thing I'm picking up's a cold Bud Light. The party's getting started. I'm hitting my stride. Sorry, baby, I can't talk. You called me at a good time.
Nathan Rourke takes the field, just 26 yards shy of another 300-yard passing game. We've seen Montreal's defense come away with a couple of turnovers in this game. They don't have anything to show for it, though. But if they're going to stick around in this one and try to claw back into it, kind of get the sense it's going to have to be their defense that makes another play.
Yep. Yeah, there haven't really even been opportunities in special teams in the return game because they're not forcing BC to punt the ball.
3-man rush. Rourke with time. Down the field. Drops it in there at the 30. A big strike to Eberhardt. Just his 2nd catch of the game. But that's what he does best.
Yeah, this has been the story to me of Eberhardt's role in this BC Lions offense. This is his 6th catch of over 30 yards or 30-plus yards in the last 4 games. So 5 in 3 games coming into tonight, and another dagger right there.
49-yard strike to Eberhardt. Rourke has now gone over 300 yards in 6 of his 8 starts this season. Butler steps over to the right of his quarterback. They'll give it to Butler. And he is tied up pretty much immediately. Canton Arku in on the tackle.
And there you see the man of the moment. Aiden Eberhardt there, the numbers from those last 3 games. You know, and you think throwing the long ball, but still resulting in completions on 11 of 13 targets. He's having a breakout season here.
Second and 7 for Rourke, just inside the red zone. Down to Hatcher, turns, end zone, touchdown again. Give him 2. Keon Hatcher, touchdown Lions.
Hatcher working the sideline out to the right side. Rourke time to stand in. Finds his favorite of many good targets out along that sideline for the major.
Oh, we said Montreal's going to hang around here. Their defense is going to have to make a play. Instead, it's 3 plays, 70 yards the other way for the Lions, and they go up by 18 at home against a banged-up Alouettes squad. Rourke, no mistake, drops it in a bucket for Hatcher. Rourke, 3 touchdowns on the day.
Here you see Nathan Rourke's got time to take a look around, step up. Find Keon Hatcher. Just a situation in that one, the corner out on that wide side, Deontay Evans. Sort of bailed on the play. Left room for Hatcher.
Nice on the return along the sideline, steps out of bounds. Let's take another look at the touchdown.
Yeah, and there you'll see Keon Hatcher at the bottom of your screen, but watch, Deontay Evans is just going to sort of bail out of the picture, dropping deep. So you look at the space that leaves for Keon Hatcher just outside of the end zone. Easy decision for Nathan Rourke. Number 12 having a little fun tonight.
If you have Hatcher in your fantasy lineup this week, congratulations on your likely victory. Having a big one. Morgan, 16 of 23 now. Throwing the ball quite a bit. Obviously trailing, trying to get something going. Taking the odd deep shot, not many. Evans has had his knee wrapped since he left this game. Important, valuable reps here for Morgan with a possible start looming. Near side, hustling over there. Almost taking it away. Deontay Williams. Hollins was waiting for it. And it didn't get there in time.
And just getting that one all the way out from that right hash out to the left sideline. Gives Deontay Williams some time to react and almost come up with a pick.
Busy day for Zima as he lets another one fly. McGee, eyes on this one, takes it at the 25. Short return on the play. Beautiful shot, Falls Creek, here on the West Coast on a pretty nice Saturday evening. So last time out, Keon Hatcher was targeted 10 times, caught just 3 of them for 31 yards. Tonight, 9 of 9, 144 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Not a bad night for Keon Hatcher. Came into the game already over 700 yards on the season.
Not that far away from 900 now, though. Going to ground to Butler. Sankey is there.
A great season this has been for Keon Hatcher. Well documented the injuries that he struggled with in 2024, but clearly leaving those in the rearview mirror the way he's been rolling this season.
Targeted almost 85 times by Rourke already this year. Pocket collapsing on Nathan, spins, tripped, and he goes down. It will be a sack for the Alouettes defense.
And if he could have high-stepped it out of that one, there was a little bit of room to run in front of him. And you'll see as he tries to get to the outside here, but shoestring tackle on the play by the pursuing Tyrese Beverett, swatting the ankles. Watch the swipe here. Gets just enough to throw him off. Great play from Beverett.
3rd sack of the season for Beverett. Canton Arcou on one knee, chatting with the athletic therapist for the Alouettes.
Hopefully nothing too serious here. You know, when you talk about the Alouettes injuries, I think a little bit of the hit that their Canadian starters have taken this year. You mentioned Tyson Philpott out, Marc-Antoine Dequoy out of the lineup as well.
We'll step away in Vancouver as they continue to chat with Jeffrey Canton Arcou. Let's take a look ahead to week 12 on the CFL schedule. Thursday night football will get us started in Montreal as the Bombers pay them a visit. Ottawa, Edmonton on Friday night football, and then Saturday doubleheader. BC, Toronto, and a big one in the West, Saskatchewan versus Calgary. BC Lions here on the verge of completing a sweep for the West this week. Winnipeg, Edmonton, Saskatchewan already winners this week against Eastern opponents. Meyer lays one out there for Tice, takes it just inside his own 25, double teamed immediately, and thrown to the turf by Josh Haggerty.
Haggerty, a recent addition to this BC Lions lineup. Former University of Saskatchewan DB, started his career in Toronto, but adding some good veteran special teams depth. You know, up in the Lions' hair game a little bit too.
Yeah, it's important. Yeah. I think it's important. I think every team should probably have 2 to 3 hair guys.
Yeah, a couple good flow guys.
Mix in a beard guy. Beard game around the league taking a hit with MBT out. Here's Morgan again. He's gonna send one way down the field. 4 Lions were there, and none of them could come up with it. Rambo, the lone Alouette, the target for Morgan.
Yeah, and obviously in a situation when you look at the scoreboard and the time, you know, it's not questioning. Here's Morgan again.
He's going to send one way down the field. 4 Lions were there, and none of them could come up with it. Rambo, the lone Alouette, the target for Morgan.
Yeah, and obviously in a situation when you look at the scoreboard and the time, you know, it's not questioning Morgan's decision making. You got to push the ball down the field. You need a big play. You need a chunk. But you got to, you know, the BC Lions defense is thinking the same thing, because they're all, the entire secondary converging on that deep ball.
I don't even know who had the best crack at it. Maybe the safety. Will you? Tight window there. Speaker couldn't hang on. Alatic causing issues on that one.
It's just offensively, Montreal unable to get much going here in the second half as the Lions start to pull away, and that fatigue factor we talked about impacting the Montreal defense a little bit here as this one has unfolded.
Yeah, Lions finishing drives in the second half that they weren't able to complete in the first. Zima again. McGee has to hustle. It's going to bounce. Takes it on the one hop. Still has nowhere to go. Another big day for that man, Nathan Rourke. For more on his performance, back down to Farhan Lalji.
Guys, I asked Nathan during the week just how he feels his game is progressing at the midway point of the season. He said, I'd like to be better in the red zone, and I also would like to have fewer turnovers. Now, in reality, he's only had 5 interceptions, but there have been 9 turnover-worthy plays. So I'm not sure if you've heard the story about him being a Brett Favre fan growing up. He watched his video over and over, and I said, you like Brett Favre? He threw 336 interceptions, the most in any league ever. And he said, well, I'd like to think I'm a little more cerebral than that, because apparently Brett Favre didn't know what a nickel defense was, which was discovered after retirement. As for Buck Pierce, he said, look, the great ones are always going to play on that line, but I trust him. I know generally he's going to make good decisions, and you don't want to limit greatness.
336 interceptions for Brett Favre. That guy must have sucked. He was a slinger, no doubt.
Well, I often think it's like sometimes you see a baseball pitcher. I always remember hearing a quote, I forget from what manager, saying, do you realize how well you have to pitch to lose 20 games in a season? Like, basically, for them to keep putting you out there when you lose that many, you've actually got to be pitching pretty well. Same thing sometimes with quarterbacks. You keep your job, get to have a Hall of Fame run. You must be doing a lot of good things that offset those turnovers.
Rourke had that interception earlier today. It bounced back nicely. Another one down the field. One-on-one coverage, and a flag does come out. He was looking for Hatcher. Would have been his 11th catch of the game. Lorenzo Burns, a guilty look on his face.
Pass interference. Montreal number 20. Spot of the foul. Automatic. First down.
The Lions absolutely not taking their foot off the gas here. You see Hatcher coming out of the slot. James Butler lined up out wide on this one. They know they've got man coverage as the linebacker widens with him. Burns just a little early with the hands on there, trying to slow down Hatcher.
Rourke from the 29, end zone shot, Barry Hill, got it! Touchdown Lions, and the route is on at BC Place. Barry Hill has his team-leading 6th touchdown reception of the year.
And again, Lions O-line giving Rourke some time to stand back and do his thing, letting the deep route develop. This time finding Barry Hill. Got off to a fast start in terms of finding the end zone this season. his 6th on the year.
Lions making quick work of the Alouettes again. Just 3 more plays, 68 yards, minute and 29 seconds. That is blocked. Sean White has it blocked. It'll be picked up. There's a flag as the tackle is made. Beveretz. 4th passing touchdown of the game for Nathan Rourke. 3rd of the second half.
And as we take a look back at the touchdown, Berryhill, the number 3 receiver, he's going to work towards the corner. The other routes on that side are a little shorter, so the outside defenders are going to be held down closer to the line of scrimmage by Hatcher and McInnes.
No yards. BC number 2. 5-yard penalty, which will be applied on the kickoff.
That made it tough for Seontae Evans. Had inside leverage on Berryhill to get much help on the outside as they were occupied with those short routes. Berryhill gets an edge. Well thrown ball from Rourke.
Nathan Rourke's last 5 pass attempts, 3 of them have been touchdowns. So they have been finishing very efficiently late in this one.
Yeah, I don't know what the formula is for quarterback rating. I don't really think anybody knows, quite frankly.
Do you think anybody has ever figured that out? I only ever hear people say, I know of it, I don't know how it gets calculated.
Yeah, but regardless, 5 passes, 3 of them going for touchdowns. Has got to do good things for the QR.
375 yards as well. We'll see if he gets out there again. It's not crazy to think it could be a 400-yard game loading if they give him the ball one more time. Montreal Alouettes looking to fall to 5-5 on the year. Still be second in the East. It'll be 4 or 5 win teams out in the West. Tice. Wrapped up. Roy in on the tackle. Well, James Morgan was not expecting to see action today. Evans went out after just 4 pass attempts. Morgan has come in. He's 16 to 26, 143 yards. He's not thrown an interception yet. We've seen a lot of guys get their first crack at it, 2, 3, 4 picks.
Yeah.
Hasn't done that yet.
And I think when you look for silver linings from a Montreal point of view here, and I know Jason Moss isn't necessarily a silver linings guy in that way, but there's some value here in a young quarterback in Morgan getting some live reps and getting some experience. Obviously, we don't know what the prognosis is in terms of a return time for any of the veteran quarterbacks who have played ahead of him, but I think this game action, regardless for Morgan as he moves up the depth chart, is going to be important.
Finds Sneed. Sneed will take it down inside the 45. Montreal has not won out here in Vancouver. 8 straight games. You got to go back to 2013, almost 12 years since the Alouettes found a path to victory in Vancouver.
And I know a lot of times over the years we've talked about some of the challenges of, you know, the 3 time zone difference for the East Division teams, and particularly with evening games. But I mean, this was a 7 o'clock Eastern start.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, it's
good zip on that one from Morgan. Finds Sibusu. It's tough for Montreal. Start the year very well. You lose a guy who's never lost, and Davis Alexander. So it's that whole conversation all the time of, oh, your injuries aren't an excuse. No, but they might be a reason.
They're not an excuse,
They're a
but
reason. They're a reason. Injuries are a reason. I mean, they have gone now through 3 quarterbacks this season. Sit at 5-5. There's a soft spot in the defense. Finds Sneed. Sneed makes a move. End zone touchdown. And James Morgan has thrown his first CFL passing touchdown into the hands of Tyler Sneed.
Morgan looking to finish strong here. Get things blocked up. Throws a strike to Sneed, number 85. Does the rest. Bobbing and weaving his way into the end zone.
You're the one bright spot for the Alouettes today. Sneed, 5 catches, 111 yards, and that touchdown. Quick 4-play, 64-yard drive for Montreal late in this one. It's over 2 minutes on that drive.
And again, you know, one of the things you work on a little bit is we see Sneed, number 2 receiver, here into the boundary. Pass the linebackers, bend it to the outside, and you saw there Carter just over pursued a little bit to the outside. Sneed bounces back in, finds a path to the end zone. You know, we credit Morgan managing the clock efficiently there. I thought, obviously, is that's one of the things you're focusing on. Young quarterback in that situation.
Small fist pump from Jason Moss. After a pretty good time chatting, calendar's up, and he will trot off the field. Montreal's offense will stay out there to go for 2. They get a 16-point game.
Trying to get this down within 16. 2-possession game, theoretically.
0 for 2 so far this year on 2-point conversions. See what Morgan dials up here for the Alouettes. Interception, that's what happens. In the end zone, it's Awe, and he'll bring it back out. Active day for Michael Awe continues. BC Lions about to make it 2 in a row. They're on the 3rd game of a 6-game stretch against teams from the East. Well, as Dwayne mentioned earlier in the game, our first look at regular season James Morgan, some in the preseason a few times. What do you thought of his day overall?
You know what? Overall, I've liked Morgan's performance. You know, there have been some challenging moments for him. Again, pressure has affected his accuracy. Pressure affects everybody's accuracy. I think at times maybe a little bit more as he's seeing some looks live for the first time. And that's something that over time you anticipate it's going to slow down for him a little bit, and that's going to affect him a little bit less. So as a starting point for James Morgan in his first game action, yeah, I think there's been a lot of positives for the Alouettes. Number 4 turned number 1 quarterback.
His job for now. Onside attempt, Maltos Diaz gonna bounce one in there, bounces off of a foot, that'll be a live ball. But McGee is on it. Good awareness from McGee as it changed direction, and he was able to track it down. Maltos Diaz give him a crack at it, but McGee was ready.
Yeah, a lot of times on this one, you hope to get the high pop a little closer to the sideline. You know, you get the uneven bounces with the football. That one seemed like the high bounce came early.
All right, Nathan Rourke remains in this ball game, up by 18. He's 9 for 9 in the half. Hands it off to Butler. Might be a steady diet of handoffs, but he is 25 yards away from putting up another 400-yard game.
Yeah, not sure he's gonna get the chance to do that. As you suggested, it may be all about, you know, Buck Pierce telling him you can stay in the game and finish this one off, but you're just going to turn around and hand it off to number 20.
Well, you hope that's all that happens.
Yeah, we'll see.
Well,
empty backfield.
Throw here, gets that one away. Geez, late in the game, but still a darn good catch right there. Defended well, but held on to by Hatcher. He's caught all 11 thrown his way.
Yeah, quick hitter there. Spreading things out. There you see Butler clearing out of the backfield. Nice job up front and a terrific catch there, full extension for Keon Hatcher.
Few extra bodies on the line here for BC. Give it to Butler. Butler waits, has a bit of a hole, and pushes it down inside the Montreal 40 with less than 2 minutes to go.
Well, with his big day here today, guess who is now the CFL's leading receiver? One Keon Hatcher, 878 yards.
A lot of receivers on pace for 1,000-yard seasons, including McInnes after that big game last week. Put him up on that pace as well. That's 66 more yards today and a touchdown. Second and about 3. Back to Butler again. And Butler will pick up a first down. There's a flag in behind the quarterback.
Holding, BC number 54. 10-yard penalty, remains second down.
13th penalty of the game on the BC Lions. Hasn't impacted them in form of a victory today or stopping them from picking up a victory, but certainly not something you want to become a trend here.
Yeah, I suspect it will be part of the discussion for Buck Pierce as they prepare for week 12.
Second and 14 for Rourke. Wants to throw, gets it away, far side. Berryhill tries a little tippy toe, not going to work. That's incomplete. And that'll bring up third down. First incompletion of the second half for Nathan Rourke. This night will end with 382 yards and 4 touchdowns. That's okay, I guess.
Yeah, we'll let him start again next game.
No controversy here in BC with Rourke this year.
And you know Nathan Rourke is so competitive, he's probably trying to convince Buck Pierce to go for it on third down.
Instead, they'll just kick it away here late. Meyer, who's got a 50-yard average on the year. Not that much room here, so he just drops it down inside the 15. 33-yard kick. Let's take a look at your updated standings in the West. And a big win here for BC to keep pace with Winnipeg. Winnipeg does have a game in hand, and you see Edmonton sort of hanging around in the
trying to fight their way back
Riders.
into it. How about Saskatchewan today, by the way? Impressive performance in the battle of the first place teams.
Against a highly powered Hamilton offense. Kept them in check. And of course, Saskatchewan-Calgary next Saturday. If Calgary can win that game, makes it very interesting. If Saskatchewan wins that game, kind of have the West on cruise control up at the top. I know Riders fans will be saying, don't jinx anything, but you got to be happy with your team right now. Vladeck breaks that one up. See how the BC Lions can factor into that home playoff date conversation in the West. Certainly have themselves in the thick of it. And actually lost 3 in a row at home coming into this.
An impressive performance here today.
They won their home opener against Edmonton with Snoop Dogg in the house, and I know their owner has deep pockets, but you can't be flying Snoop in for every single game to try to help you get a victory. Instead, you just need Nathan Rourke. Look after the football. The one interception tonight. We said earlier, their biggest problem so far this year has been turnovers. There he is. I like the look with a suit and a hat. If they would allow us to do that here on TSN, I would definitely be suit and hat guy. And funny hats, too, not just ball caps.
I was going to say, do you have a go-to hat?
I have a CFL hat that I wear around. I have one hat that I've actually had for like 20 years.
Really?
It's just, it's an old, remember Billabong was really big back like late 90s?
That's not a bad hat. He's wearing all of it. You know, my go-to, I have a hat that I bought in Jamaica many years ago.
Okay.
Nice cap, but it's got dreadlocks like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Except they're like a little more realistic looking. And yeah, that would be my game day hat.
Yeah, that would be it, eh?
Yeah.
Let's see, maybe we put a hat day on the schedule in an upcoming week.
We could get the fans involved.
Everybody. Yeah, the panel could wear funny
pictures
hats.
to those of you who are on social media.
They'll give it to Butler. Let's take a look at the standings in the East. Hamilton, just a 2-point cushion on Montreal here, and then Ottawa and Toronto trying to make things interesting with the crossover
I was going to say they got some work to do.
One of those teams needs
West.
to get going, don't they?
Crossover. If I were to do a late game editorial, playoff format, we need to fix that.
What's the plan?
Well, I'm just going to say, here's my problem with the crossover. Is you put a playoff format in place in which it's possible to have 2 teams from the same division end up in the Grey Cup. But it's only possible if one of the teams is a 4th place team. So it's not possible for the 3rd place team. You know what I mean? You can't have the 1st and 2nd place teams from the same division get in the Grey Cup, but you can have like the 1st, 2nd, or 3rd place team and the 4th place team get in the Grey Cup. That's flawed to me.
What's the solution?
I'm going to get to that. We should wrap this one up.
I gotta know.
There are other forums in which I will get to that. The simple format is top 6 teams make the playoffs. Right?
I've liked that idea for a few years now.
Me too.
Simplify it a little bit. What do you think of this one?
A lot of challenges for Montreal. Again, injuries throughout their lineup, not just at the quarterback spot. Thought Morgan acquitted himself well in defeat, pressed into action here. But for the BC Lions, Buck Pierce looking to clean up the penalties, but a very good performance in really all 3 phases of the game. I thought they covered well in the kicking game. Nathan Rourke in the offense kind of had it humming and just picked up steam as this game went on. Defense held Montreal in check. Big win in a tight Western race.
It was all BC tonight. 36-18 your final as the West sweeps the East in Week 11 in the Canadian Football League. Nathan Rourke, what a day. 382 yards, 4 touchdowns. Keon Hatcher, perfect. Caught 11 targets thrown his way for 156 yards and 2 touchdowns. Thank you very much for joining us here in Vancouver. Sports Center with Jermaine Franklin. Nikki Reyes is next.